see you later.
Miss, would you please look at this? I specifically ordered hash browns, very crispy, and whole wheat toast. How hard is it to get a breakfast order right around here, for Pete's sake?
It's not a pretty sight, is it?
No.
I'm sorry it isn't what you want, but I'll have it fixed in a flash.
A flash? I doubt that. I waited 10 minutes to get seated, and I still haven't had my second cup of coffee.
You know what? I'd be unhappy too if my day started out like that. Let me get this breakfast back to the kitchen, and I'll get your second cup of coffee. And while I'm at it, maybe I can get you some fresh fruit or some juice on the house?
Make it unleaded coffee, and we'll have a deal.
Was everything okay?
Much better. In fact, it's the best meal I've had on my vacation.
Thank you. I'll make sure to pass that on to the chef. We've been really swamped with this convention, but that's no excuse for you having to wait or be unhappy. I hope you'll give us another try while you're here.
I just might do that. Thanks.
Have a great day. Thank you. Now, my Osceola friends, that may have looked like effortless service recovery, but I'm here to tell you that before I took that CARES class a few months ago, you would have seen a much more stressful encounter, a grumpier guest, and I'd be lucky to see any tip at all. I'll be right back, okay?
Miss, would you look at this, please? I specifically asked for my hash browns, extra crispy, and whole wheat toast. Now, how hard is it to get a breakfast order right, for Pete's sake?
I got the order right. The kitchen didn't. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do?
Tell you what I want you to do. I want you to take this plate and march right back in the kitchen. And you put this mess in front of that so-called chef, and you have him eat it.
Trust me, you never want to upset anyone who comes in direct contact with your food. Always a bad idea. I'll have to sweet-talk Chef Steven. I'll get those crispy fries back to you as soon as I can.
Crispy hash browns. How tough is it to get crispy hash browns and a second cup of coffee?
So, any better?
Well, better than the first try.
See, it's been chaos around here. We got slammed with that big convention, and quality control just went a little south on us. Hope you give us another try.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Have a great day, too. Big spender. Yep, that was me back then, and no, I'm not particularly proud of my behavior either. But my excuse was always that the guest started it. But then our supervisor made us all go to this silly-sounding CARES class a few months ago. I learned that how I act and react has a huge effect on how the guest reacts. You know, I almost called in sick the day of the class and didn't. I'm glad, because it's turned out to be a real eye-opener.
You've got some of the most challenging jobs in Osceola's service industry today. So, knowing and using basic emotional intelligence concepts is a great way to improve your interactions with guests and coworkers, especially when you're dealing with a difficult situation. In fact, you'll find the concepts help with your personal relationships as well. Remember the CARES acronym. Collaboration. You and me against the problem. Awareness of your own feelings. Regulation, managing your feelings. Empathy, willingness to put yourself in another's place. And self-motivation, own the problem and solve it. It's not just about being nice. It's a different way of being smart, people smart. Now, who had the C in our acronym?
We did.
Oh, come on up.
We talked about collaboration, you and me against the problem. We said that when you collaborate with the guest and you focus on the problem, you become allies and not enemies. Check out our awesome artwork.
Nicely done. Thank you. There's a great old saying, fix the problem, Don't waste time on the blame game. So what your group is saying is make the problem your mutual enemy, then you'll both win. On that happy note, let's break for lunch. Be back in an hour, please. Thanks.
And then the guest leaves me a huge tip. Can you believe it? Just because I cared. And they actually came back for breakfast a few days later and showed me family photos.
The same huge tip as before?
Yep.
Hey, Tom, what's up?
Not much.
I thought I would try this new pasta dish.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. They started doing this new pesto and penne dish. You know, the recipe came from one of our housekeepers.
Huh.
You know, we probably owe that to your CARES class, too.
Hank's right. In fact, ever since we all took that class, someone's been a little less defensive about suggestions for new menu items.
Okay, I hear you guys. Before it used to burn my toast that all of you felt free to criticize the food selection, as if you're all like little emeralds or something. But I gotta tell you, what I learned about awareness and regulation in the CARES class, message really hit home with me. We had the A, awareness of our own feelings.
What did you discover about yourselves?
Well, we discovered that our first reaction to anything that could be perceived as remotely negative is to suit up and to get into defensive mode, to combat what feels like a personal attack. The problem is we seldom stop to think about those feelings. By realizing that I may be feeling challenged, defensive, or even angry, I can then think about what to do next.
Great job. So how do you get past that? Anybody? Yes.
Honestly, inside, I'd get just as frustrated as the guest. But now I'm going to make more of an effort to not take it so personally. As Steve said, I'll be more aware of my feelings and listen to what's going on in my head before I react. Which brings us to our team's assignment, the R in the acronym.
Okay, get up here. Let's show us what you got.
Way to go, Angie. If she can do it, I can too.
Just what I want to hear, because I've got some great recipes for your cafeteria menu.
Bring it on, all you Martha Stewart wannabes. We'll even name a dish after you.
All right, our group was assigned regulation, managing your feelings. We discussed how not to put on that body armor that Steve just showed us in his cartoon.
And what did you decide?
Well, we're all adults, well, most of us anyway, so it's up to us to regulate our own feelings. So even if a guest or a coworker is having a tantrum, we don't have to figuratively get down there on the floor and kick and scream with them. Not that there aren't days when we're tempted.
Good work, group. If we manage our own feelings, we stand a much better chance of managing the situation. Okay, now we've covered the C, the A, and the R. Who's got the E in our acronym? Oh, come on up here. So that's how Penelope's pasta got past the body armor. Cool.
Well, guys, I gotta get back to work. See you later.
Bye, Steve.
Later, man.
Hey, Maria, don't forget that you've promised to introduce the review video today in my class.
Yeah, I haven't forgotten. What time should I be there?
Well, we break about 3 for review, so about then would be good.
Sounds good.
Ah, I see we have a star among us. I can't wait to see you in this video. Okay, I have one more story about how this class has helped me. It almost cost me my right arm, but I was able to defuse an angry dad and make me a little kid's best friend. It was the craziest day. 8 gazillion families checked out all at once after a long holiday weekend visiting the parks. 3 people phoned in sick. I got the call to bring down all 47 tons of Tucker family luggage, pronto. Now, this may shock you, but they were late leaving for the airport. Somehow I got them all loaded in, and that's when tragedy struck. Muffy the bear had gone AWOL. Now, a lawyer could have put the entire family on stand, and each would have sworn that Muffy hitched a ride on my luggage cart. So who's the bad guy? Moi, of course. Well, you know what my first reaction would have been before the CARES class. Too bad, so sad. Could have get a brand new beer. But then I remembered the E, empathy message from class. I put myself in that little person's place. Well, sort of. And then that training kicked in. I asked the Tuckers to wait as long as possible while I try to retrace Muffy's footsteps.
Oh boy, sounds like a Muffy story. Hey, Angie.
Hey, Angie.
What's up?
Anyway, as I sprinted for the elevators, I did this reality check on my feelings. And I told myself to stop being so anxious. It wasn't me they were mad at, but their vacation was going to end on a real downer if they didn't find the muffster. There was this huge wait at the elevators, and before anxiety could blossom into rage, I told myself to save the energy for the 12 flights of stairs I was about to climb.
Oh yeah, he was a whipped little pup by the time he found me on the 12th floor.
I'll say. So I told Angie about the kid's bear and that the family was rushing to catch a plane. Using Angie's passkey, we got into the room where Muffy was last seen, and we tossed that place like a sugar-starved diner looking for leftover Halloween candy. Nothing, zip, nada.
And then I saw this little paw peeking out from under a pile of towels. Muffy, come to mama. I scooped him up, pitched him over to Hank, and he went straight off to the Tuckers.
I made it down the stairs in record time, but missed the Tuckers by seconds. Until Dad spotted Muffy in his rearview mirror. Man, that guy made Jeff Gordon look like a driver's ed student. Well, in reverse, at least. I said a prayer to the patron saint of brakes, steadied myself for the big handoff, and thought, whoa, maybe I'm taking this whole cares thing a little too far. But I'm here to tell you, it felt kind of good to reunite Muffy and her pal. I like to think that because I actually cared, I was able to make a family's vacation, well, memorable. In a good way.
That little girl will never forget you, Hank. Kudos to Angie, too. Great story.
Yeah, the misadventures of Muffy the Wayward Bear. Well, I gotta go. Who knows how many teddy bears are lurking in the laundry?
I have to stop by the front desk on the way back to class. Maybe you want to walk with me and we can go over your presentation for this afternoon?
Okay.
So, are you nervous?
Hi, how can I help you?
Yes, I specifically asked for a room by the pool when I made my reservation. Can't you do the simplest things right?
I'm sure we'll be able to find you a room that's to your liking. Let's go ahead and look at our options, okay?
Yes, let's do that.
It has to feel great to see your teachings actually being practiced.
That it does. I'll see you at 3. And don't be nervous, you'll do great.
Hi, welcome back. I'd like you to meet Maria. She stars in our video that's part of our review. I asked her to stop by to say a few words. Maria?
Our resort is really pleased to be hosting this class for our resort community. As you know, tourism is very important for our economy. Without it, most of us wouldn't have jobs. So anything we can do to improve service will ultimately benefit us both personally and professionally. I'm sure this class will help you learn one of the most important survival skills in this industry: how to handle an upset guest. Well, let me tell you that it helped me, and I was surprised to learn that all it takes is someone who cares. But anyway, I have to go back to work, but you'll see me in this video where you'll get to review everything you learned today. And so have fun, and good luck with the review.
That was great, Maria. Thank you. Now, let's get started with that review.
Hi, I've been asked to lead you through a little what-if scenario so you can practice the CARES action steps in the comfort and safety of this classroom. The best part is, we can use these ideas every day at work or in our personal lives. For instance, we'll see two coworkers in a typical situation where tempers might flare, to say the least. Along the way, we'll stop the tape to let you discuss what you would do if you were in their shoes. This scenario involves one of our managers and a maintenance crew member.
So let's present this at today's managers meeting, okay?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, I'll see you then.
Thanks, Ann.
Hi, Pete.
Hey, Ann.
Hey, a few of our overhead lights have been burned out for more than 3 days. Now, how hard can it be for you to take 5 minutes and fix them?
Look, I'm on a hot mission for the GM's office, and I'll get chewed out if I stop for even a few seconds.
We were looking for collaboration here, the you and me against the problem mentality. For true collaboration to occur, the two parties have to get past the blaming stage and agree to focus on the problem at hand.
So I guess we're second-class citizens back here.
You admin types sure don't act like second-class anything, if you ask me.
What's that supposed to mean?
Pete shifted into a defensive mode. He put on that suit of armor, didn't he? He didn't use awareness and regulation from our acronym. Remember, be aware of how you are feeling. Is it frustration, anger, whatever? And then, carefully consider what you will do next. Think before reacting.
Look, I can see that's not the best lighting. I'll tell you what, let me go take care of this hot project, and I promise I'll come right back and fix the light.
You know something, Pete? That will really brighten my day.
All right.
Thank you.
Ah, a little empathy and self-motivation go a long way, don't they? Remember, just put yourself in the other person's shoes. Think about how they are feeling. And then take action to fix the problem. Focus on what you can do, not what you can't. The better care we take of internal customers or fellow workers, the better care we take of our guests. That means they'll come back to stay with us again and again, and they'll tell their friends how well we took care of them. More guests, more jobs, and more chances to show that someone really cares about great service.